today. Let's see what we got in here. Seymour Duncan. Pickup booster. Little instruction manual. The pedal itself. And what's we got in here? Some Velcro pads for your pedal board. Bottom rubber stopper, I guess that is. And whatever this is for, little red stickers, I don't know what that's for, but guess we'll figure that out. Alright, so pickup booster. And the res peak thing here. This is supposed to make your single coil sound like humbuckers. Use this pedal first and chain to activate res peak switch. So in position 0, it's just bypass basically, but in position 1, it'll make your single coil sound like a vintage humbucker. And in position 2, it's a Hutter humbucker sound from a single coil pickup. I'm going to use a Fender Jaguar here that has humbuckers and coil tapping. So we're going to do the single coil test through the pedal, see if it sounds like a humbucker, and then we'll put the humbucker on, turn that knob off, and see if it sounds similar or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to have my little amp here, just clean amp sound, preset clean. And we'll do the bridge pickup. And single coil mode. Alright, so let's turn this thing on. And by the way, according to the Seymour Duncan, when it's at 0, it's good for when you have long cables. You don't lose any, clarity in your sound or whatever. Add some gain here. Let's get it really loud. Turn on the amp a little bit. And you can even drive your amps a little bit with the all the way up here. That is driving the amp a little bit. But I'm gonna put it at 12 o'clock here. I don't want to add too much distortion to the sound right now. Okay. Bypassed. Turn this up so you see how transparent the sound is. Seems to add a little bit of coloration to the sound. Alright, so single coil bridge pickup. And vintage mode humbucker sound. regular single coil. Alright, let's check this vintage vintage humbucking sound. Now let's turn the humbucker on here. Turn this back to 0. So that's the humbucker on the guitar. Back to single coil. Humbucker on the pedal. Single coil on the guitar. Not too much difference on the vintage one on this particular setup, but I've noticed in the higher output humbucker sound, if I go back to the humbucker mode on the guitar, put that back to 0 here. It pretty much gets that humbucker sound on setting 2. Now this is the humbucker playing on the guitar again, as I said. And then let's do it again. Okay, single coil on the guitar with this one. So, setting 2 does make the humbucker sound like a humbucker, or the single coil rather, sound like a humbucker. It almost sounds identical to the humbucker in the guitar. Let's try a humbucker, and then with this on 2. That's really not supposed to do anything because you're making a humbucker sound like a humbucker, which already sounds like a humbucker, but I'm sure it does something. Let's see. Without it. Yeah, colors the tone a little bit. Let's try in position 1. Alright, so here we got the American Telecaster. Position 0. This is about noon. Bridge pickup. Humbucker. Bypass humbucker. Vintage humbucker setting. Bypass. So it's interesting that the vintage humbucker setting doesn't seem to be doing much to my Telecaster or my Jaguar, but position 2 is working very nice. Off. So that's interesting. Okay, so they do give you a couple settings here and explanations of what they would do. For example, you know, just at 0, it'll help with the rest of your pedal board and without, you know, coloring the sound, whatnot. And it says if you use at the end of your pedal chain, you'll get long cables run back to your amp, that sort of thing. Then the fat and strat. Gain at 12 o'clock, res peak at 1. Draw the front of your amp for a little more grit. Let's try that. Actually, we were doing that, but we're not on the Strat, we're on a Telly, but let's try that. Switch to the neck pickup here. Back to 0. So it did add a little bit of, like it said, just a tiny touch, but it is a little noticeable. Okay, maximum beef, 2 all the way up. I'm gonna turn the amp down here because it's gonna be really loud. A little bit more. Back to 0. So it definitely changes the tone a lot there. Then the last setting is a fattened humbucker all the way up, and just leave it at 0. Let's go back to the humbucking guitar. Okay, get the humbucker on the guitar, and we got the humbucker setting, and we got it all the way up, gain. Let's get situated here. Let's check that out. Without it. Put it back at 0. Actually, it's supposed to be at 0. So, I mean, you can color your sound different ways. You can even, put it on humbucking mode, and still use a humbucker. Still sounds pretty decent. Alright, so let's try something different here. Let's try it on a bass. Why not? B-bass. Alright, so there's a single coil mode, all the way down to 0 gain. Without it. The humbucking mode on. Alright, doesn't really seem to do much on the bass. Alright, Doesn't seem to do much on the bass, but I guess if I played around for a little bit longer, I could figure something out. But that's all for now. Check it out. It's a pretty cool pedal. I really like the humbucking aspect of it. You know, I'm sure it sounds great if you're directing your computer as well if you're recording. Maybe you only got a Telecaster or a Strat and you want to add some extra beef to those pickups. Alright, that's all for now. Check out my other videos, and I'll talk to you soon.